In today's episode, I'm going to show you metacognition skills and examples, mastering strategies for success. Prospective Plans with new videos and podcasts weekly. Join our Patreon at patreon.com/Prospective Plans for exclusive videos and more. Visit prospectiveplans.com for all of your planner and stationery needs. Only at Prospective Plans, helping you plan for what's to come. Alright, let's get meta. No, not like being cool or trendy, but metacognition, which is basically thinking about your thinking. Fancy, right? Metacognition skills are like your brain's self-awareness superpowers. They help you figure out how you think, how you solve problems, and how to get stuff done smarter but not harder. Think of it as the science behind how your brain plans, check-ins on itself, and then reflects on what worked, like a personal coach for your thoughts. There are 3 simple steps. Step 1, planning. Focus on the problem and pick your game plan. Step 2, monitoring. Keep an eye on how you're doing as you go. Step 3, evaluating. Look back and see what you learned or even crushed. Now metacognition has 2 big parts. Metacognitive knowledge. That's knowing how you learn best. Are you a memory champ? Do you focus like a hawk or get distracted by every swirl? This is you getting to know your brain's quirks. Metacognitive strategies. These are the tools you use to manage your thinking, like making to-do lists, breaking big projects into bite-sized tasks, or trying new strategies and ways to learn. Speaking of learning, there are 4 main styles. Visual learners love charts, graphs, and all the pretty pictures. Auditory learners thrive on lectures, discussions, and even podcasts. Reading/writing learners dive into books and even scribble notes like pros. Kinesthetic learners learn by doing. The more hands-on, the better. So whether you're a doodler, a talker, or even a reader or a mover, mastering metacognition means you're basically hacking your brain to work smarter, learn better, and crush your goals like a boss. Ready to get meta with your mind? Let's do this. Tip 1, problem solving. Ever get stuck on a work problem and feel like you're just slapping band-aids on it instead of fixing the real issue? Yeah, we've all been there. That's where metacognition skills come in like a superhero cape for your brain. Instead of just scratching the surface, you zoom out, think about how you're thinking, find the root cause, and come up with a game plan that actually works. It's like turning your problem solving from a quick fix into a total glow up. Boom, problem solved. Tip 2, goal setting. Goal setting is basically the secret sauce of highly effective people elsewhere. When you set goals, you're not just daydreaming. You're laser focusing on what you want and plotting out the steps to get there. It's like having a GPS for your ambitions that also warns you about roadblocks and suggests the fastest routes to success. But heads up, goal setting isn't just throwing spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks. You want your goals to be smart, specific, so you know exactly what you're aiming for. Measurable, because what gets measured gets done. Achievable. Don't set yourself up to fail, okay? Relevant. Make sure it actually matters to you and your project. And time-bound, because deadlines are your friends, not your enemies. Get these right and you're on your way to crushing those dreams like a pro. Tip 3, reflection. Let's talk about reflection. No, not staring at yourself in the mirror, though you can do that as well. Reflection is like giving your brain a little pit stop after finishing a task. First, you wrap up your work, then you hit pause and ask yourself, how did that go? Finally, you look for ways to level up and do even better next time. It's a simple 3-step cycle that turns everyday tasks into powerful learning moments. Reflection. Reflection. Because even superheroes need to check their game plan. Tip 4, self-assessment. It is like your brain's personal checkup. It also helps you to figure out what you're awesome at and where you might need a little extra practice. It's a key part of metacognition because knowing your strengths and weaknesses means you can level up faster and tackle challenges like a champ. One of my favorite tools for this is the SWOT analysis. No, not the spy stuff, but a simple way to break things down. Your strengths. What are you really good at? Your weaknesses. What could use some work? Opportunities. What chances you can grab based on your strengths, your threats? What risk could trip you up if you're not careful? Think of SWOT as your personal GPS for growth, helping you navigate the best path to success. Tip 5, planning. Planning is where metacognition really shines, especially if you are an educator, a leader, or just someone who likes to have a game plan. It's like being the captain of your own ship. You check out your resources, figure out the best route, and get ready to set sail smoothly. When you create a clear roadmap of your learning and your projects, you're not just winging it, you're spotting opportunities and potential roadblocks before they show up. That way you can dodge the storms and reach your goals faster, all while looking like a total boss. Tip 6, self-questioning. Here's a neat trick. Talk to yourself, seriously. Self-questioning is like having a little detective inside your brain, constantly asking yourself, wait, what's going on here? Or why does this even matter? It sparks your curiosity and makes you dig deeper into whatever you're learning. Plus, it's a perfect example of metacognition in action, being aware of your own thinking and making it work for you. So next time you're stuck, just start asking yourself some good questions and watch those light bulbs go off immediately. And the best part, you don't need fancy tools or even a PhD to do this. Just pause, ask yourself simple questions. Do I really get this? Or what's the main idea here? And don't be afraid to challenge your own answers. It's like being your own personal coach, pushing yourself to think smarter and even learn deeper. Trust me, once you get into the habit of self-questioning, your brain will thank you with some serious aha moments. Tip 7, active reading isn't just about cozying up with a book for fun. It's like giving your brain a workout while you read. Instead of just glazing over the words, you're fully engaged, checking in with yourself to make sure you actually get what you're reading. A great way to boost this is by summarizing chapters in your own words or even spotting those sneaky connections between different parts of the book. Think of active reading as leveling up from a casual browser to a full knowledge ninja. Tip 8, concentration. It's basically the art of saying no to everything, so you can say heck yes to the one thing that really matters to you. It's how you build self-discipline, even when your brain is begging you to check your phone, grab a snack, or even reorganize your sock drawer. But here's the twist. True concentration isn't just about locking in on one task. It's about constantly steering your attention back when it drifts. That's where metacognition comes in, helping you notice when your focus slips and gently dragging it back like a productivity bouncer. Tip 9, monitoring is basically you playing coach and referee for your own brain. How do you know if you're actually making progress toward your goals? Simple, you keep checking in. It's like real-time self-assessment where you ask, am I on track, or is this strategy actually working? Or am I just spinning my wheels? Monitoring helps you spot what's working, what's not, and what's secretly sabotaging your focus. Looking at your phone notifications. By asking reflective questions as you go, you catch roadblocks early and course correct like a boss. Whether it's shifting your approach or even doubling down on what's effective, monitoring keeps you in control of your learning process. No mystery detours, no wasted time. Just smarter moves and smoother progress. Tip 10, testing. Self-testing is like giving your brain a pop quiz, but without the sweaty palms and number 2 pencils. Unlike self-assessment, where you reflect on your strengths and even weaknesses, self-testing is all about challenging yourself with questions to make sure the info actually sticks. It's your way of saying, hey brain, did we actually learn this, or are we just pretending? Spoiler alert, this simple habit boosts your memory, sharpens recall, and gives your learning a serious power up. The best part? You don't need a formal test setup. Flashcards, quick recap questions, or even teaching the concept to your dog or even a mildly interested plant all count. The goal is to make your brain actively retrieve the info, and every time you do, you're reinforcing the knowledge like a champ. So test yourself often and give your brain a standing ovation. Share this awesome episode with someone you know who needs it to help them plan for what's to come. And don't forget to like and subscribe. I hate for you to miss the next episode. Now let's get into our recap. So let's do a quick recap just in case you missed a tip. Tip 1, problem solving. Tip 2, goal setting. Tip 3, reflection. Tip 4, self-assessment. Tip 5, planning. Tip 6, self-questioning. Tip 7, active reading. Tip 8, concentration. Tip 9, monitoring. And tip 10, testing. I just want to take a moment to thank our patrons and channel members. This episode would not be possible without your support. Thank you. And if you would like to support the show, visit patreon.com/Prospective Plans today. Thank you so much for stopping by and pressing play. I truly appreciate it. Let me know down below in the comments or your podcast review what tip you'll be using. Keep planning for what's to come, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.